What's up, Leafs fans, and welcome back to Leafs Digest. We are live breaking down Game 36 of the Toronto Maple Leafs regular season, dropping this one, of course, to the Arizona Coyotes. And who else in net for the Coyotes other than the man, the myth, the legend, Karl Vejmelka. 6-3 loss for the Leafs here tonight, going to 22-8-6 on the season. The return of Morgan Rielly does not go so great for himself, for the results of this team, for the way that this team played defensively, and all of a sudden it looked like Justin Holl was the Justin Holl of old. So it was a rough one. I put a poll in the chat there if people want to vote on that and let us know your thoughts on on how this one went. Are the Leafs better without Rielly? 18 votes right now. There's 18 people watching. If you guys want to hit like on this video, you want to hit subscribe as we if you have not yet already, make sure to do so. You can also turn on notifications by clicking that bell, and you will get notified every single time that we go live on this channel or videos like yesterday are posted. But 72% of people right now in the votes saying yes, the Leafs are better without Morgan Rielly. Kind of wild. I said it yesterday in the video that I put out talking about the return of Morgan Rielly, and it was more just that I was concerned about him hopping back in here because his style of play is not at all conducive to the style of play that the team had been running with since he had been out. He is not very strong defensively, and I think if you're going to defend that and say like he is, then I personally just think that you're in the wrong in that sense. I think he's a good defenseman in terms of what he can bring to you from other aspects in playing from the defensive end, but he's just not very good defensively. That's the honest truth about Morgan Rielly, who he is and what he brings to the table. He's not the greatest defenseman defensively. So you have to kind of take that with a grain of salt and understand what he's going to bring night in, night out. And then he ends up in a position where he basically has to play with someone who's very, very defensive. That's why things worked out very well with TJ Brodie, is because Brodie is just all defense. The problem is he's coming back in here to join this lineup, and I don't think it's really get rid of Morgan Rielly. I more just put the poll in there to kind of understand what how Leafs fans are feeling after this one. But it was concerning to me about him jumping back in because this Leafs team, the way that they played defensively as a whole cohesive unit, the way that their defense was playing specifically, had got to a point where they were kind of playing very well together. They were playing very well as a unit. They were playing systematically. They were doing things properly from that aspect. And then you just throw Morgan Rielly in there, who's not great defensively, and you're going to end up in a situation where it might stick out like a sore thumb. And that's kind of what happened here tonight. He's not the greatest defenseman, but yeah. I don't know. I'm not in full panic on Morgan Rielly and what he is yet, but it's just I had concerns about it. People commenting on the video last night. I know Max was as well. Max, I'm going to get to your super chat here in a second, but not very happy with my criticism of Morgan Rielly, but I think we kind of saw that here tonight and what he is and what he could bring in terms of his lack of defensive responsibility. It happens. We do have a super chat here, though, from Max NTS Decima, so we will get to that right now. Max, thank you very much for the super chat. As always, it is greatly appreciated. Max saying, Coyotes are the Leafs' kryptonite. Brutal. Yeah, I think even more so than that, it's Vejmelka. Vejmelka is the Leafs' kryptonite. This guy is the only goaltender in the NHL. If you saw that graphic on the screen there tonight, this guy is the only goaltender in the NHL to beat all three of the top teams, and that would be Boston, Carolina, and Toronto right now in this conference, I guess. But yeah, he's the only one to beat all three. Vejmelka is an extremely good goalie. Their team just sucks. So that is what it is. The other thing is, Matthews has not traditionally been incredible in Arizona, and it was another one for him tonight. They talked about it on the broadcast. This Leafs team has only won one game so far this season if none of the big four score. That happens here tonight. None of the big four score, and you blow the lead. Like, you lose the lead. So that's a little bit of a level of frustration. I that's one stat though that you can't really make anything of it, because like what is that, right? It's not like when the core four don't score, they're not scoring a lot of goals. They still managed to put up 3 here tonight. You have a lead on the Arizona Coyotes going into the third period. You should find a way to be able to close that one out. It was more just about a defensive effort than it was anything else, or about the core four not scoring. Now, that being said, as far as the way that the core four played here tonight, or the big four played, yeah, they did not have their greatest game. Tonight was the first night I kind of looked at Willie and was just like, oh, what? This isn't your best one. It was definitely the one that I looked at Willie and kind of asked some questions about like, what the hell is going on with this guy right now? But I don't know. I'm not in like panic mode. It's just, it's gross. And it's one that you look at ahead of time and you probably sit there and go, Leafs, Yotes. Leafs are huge favorites in this one. Coyotes are coming in around like plus 300 if you're betting on the game. Vejmelka's in net for the Yotes. It's in Arizona. The goddamn screen is purple on my TV. Or green. Yeah, it's just an ugly one. It's a gross one. It's 9 o'clock on a Thursday in late December as we head into the New Year's here. So not the prettiest of situations. And you almost, I feel like most Leafs fans probably go into this one just being like expecting a loss to the Coyotes. It is what it is now. You hope it's not, but it's like, it's this nonstop mindset of like, yeah, it's going to happen. It's like, it's going to happen. We're going to lose. Yeah, this was just like a slower, choppier kind of game right from the get-go. The Leafs did not look as engaged. Actually, if anybody else watched the Canada game here tonight, the way Canada started that game against Austria, it looked like they came out like, oh, we're going to thump this team, like we're going to be able to destroy them. And they kind of took them lightly to start the game. They didn't jump on them right away. And it was a little bit sloppy. They weren't connecting passes. Like, they weren't getting things done that way. And then, I mean, Canada turned it around. The Leafs did not here. The Leafs did manage to find a way to get some goals, but even once they got that lead, they just didn't hold on. And this is the first night in a while that I've looked at this team and been like, not the greatest defensive effort. Not the greatest defensive effort. And it was just sloppy. It was just sloppy hockey. That's kind of what I made of this game here tonight. I will say, though, that Justin Hall play where he knocked down Giordano to open the game 45 seconds in, and Bjugstad burns around both of them, and then in he goes like past Matthews and tucks it past Murray, was gross. Like, him falling over and taking out Gio is just like, that's why I have reservations about him, because he does that. He does that. Reading some of the comments in the chat here. Bates88 saying, should have kept Lou. No way he would have gave Rielly 8 years. I actually disagree. Look at the contract that he gave Patrick Marleau, Nikita Zaitsev, the contracts that he signed. Yeah, Robert DeLuca saying, yeah, Lou gave Zaitsev 7 years. The contracts that he signed in the island since he's been there, like, he's done some pretty good handcuffing himself with some contracts. So I can't really sit there and make this a GM issue. I think this team is constructed fine. I think they're going to continue to add. I think they're going to be looking at the deadline. As far as the Morgan Rielly thing goes. The other thing is, remember here, last year they signed Morgan Rielly, and immediately he just becomes this insane stud, and everyone's looking at it like, what a steal by the Leafs. What a steal of a contract. Like, we're getting a deal on Morgan Rielly. He started rough defensively this year. Like, he's not the greatest defenseman defensively. The thing is that when he scores as many points as he does offensively, and it can outweigh the negatives that he brings defensively and doesn't make it stick out so badly, you can kind of walk away from it being okay with it. He just hasn't been at that level of offensive production. It's still been there. Like I believe it was, he had 16 points in 20 games entering to tonight's game. But this isn't just kind of an example, and he is coming off of a break, so you got to get used to some of it, but he was very engaged in the play. Like, he was involved in it. It's not like he was shying away from stuff. He just didn't play that great. He's not the best defensively. I don't think it's like a trade him away situation, but I think it's one of those ones where you watch how this plays out over the next couple of weeks. You see how he fits in. You see how the other guys fit around him, and you go from there. Now, one thing I will say, I don't want to spend way too much time on it because people are going to go nuts. This is a very polar opposite community who feel certain ways about the one thing. Also, Rico saying, I think the boys went out last night. Yeah, they might have. Matthews might have dragged them into an absolute bender last night. But also, if you guys are watching this right now and you have not hit like, please hit that like button. We'll never ask for anything else other than subscribe and like. At work, there's a guy that we work with. He says, or we're in the same industry with, he says, don't be a freeloader. Never going to ask for anything other than like and subscribe. It takes a couple seconds. It's free to do. It's easy to do. You just hit that subscribe button. You will be subscribed to this channel. You can turn on notifications if you want. You can get notified every single time we go live on this channel, and you can just hit like on this video. It helps us get out there, helps us get more subscribers, bring more people into this community. But, all right. I don't know if people are ready for this. On the broadcast, they said, when Rasmus Sandin is ready to come back, this team is going to have a tough decision to make. Rico, thank you. I appreciate you. He said, this team is going to have a tough decision to make on the defensive end. Who goes in? Who comes out? I am here to tell you right now, this is not a hard decision. This is possibly the easiest decision you could make. You are not taking out Brody, Rielly, Giordano, Liljegren. There's one guy left that could, two guys left that could potentially come out, but there's one guy that should be coming out. It is number 3. You cannot be taking Connor Timmins out. First things first, cheaper. You're looking to add forwards. You're looking to add top 6 forward. Maybe you want to improve somebody in the defense. You can't be leaving that guy in there making a couple $1 million. Connor Timmins is just as good, if not better, than Justin Hall. He made a boneheaded play when he tried to come out from behind the net there tonight. Probably a little bit of an overly aggressive move. It ended up with him turning into taking a high sticking penalty. That was a bad play. That was a boneheaded move. But he has been pretty good since he's been here. He's a young guy on a cheap contract, and he's just getting his feet wet really in the NHL, aside from all these injuries and being sent up and down and not being able to fit into his spot. You cannot be taking that guy out and leaving in number 3. I'm not even going to say his name anymore. It's like when Skip Bayless refused to call Kawhi Leonard, and only called him number 2. He is now number 3. Number 3 cannot be playing in this lineup. He is slow. He is not a good puck handler. Connor Timmins is. Connor Timmins is literally playing on power play number 2 right now and is producing points. Like, that power play is actually creating offense and getting chances. You cannot take that guy out. If the decision is made that he comes out and number 3 stays in, that is a massive mistake. Last year in the playoffs, Timothy Liljegren was out of this lineup. Number 3 was in. Massive mistake. Massive mistake. Should not have been happening. If they roll into this year's playoffs, if they roll through the rest of the regular season, number 3 stays in this lineup, and Timmins comes out when Sandin comes back, joke. Timmins, yeah. Rico saying Timmins might have been out with the crew last night. He knows his way around there. Yeah, fair enough. He did come from there. Craig Harrison saying, if Matthews wants to go to Arizona, his career will take a nosedive with all the distractions and partying he does there. I mean, that's pure speculation, but fair enough. And RJWI saying Timmins has been getting more points or equal to Rielly. He had good size and puck moving ability. I agree. He does have good size and puck moving ability. He looks like he's got a pretty good head on his shoulders, and he looks confident alongside TJ Brody. So I enjoy watching him out there. I think part of it too is you just got guys on cheap contracts, and you need to find ways to utilize them. If you can utilize guys on cheaper contracts to do the same thing, if not better than someone else for significantly less money, i.e. Timmins versus number 3, where he's making less money and he's doing just as well, if not better. He's creating offense. He's creating opportunities. He's a good puck handler. He's a good skater. He's playing on the power play. Why would you take that guy out and leave in 3? Timmins can fit a bunch of different roles there, continue to develop, and I think we're going to get a good player out of him. I think we've seen the peak of 3. That's all. This game here tonight is a very evident one of even with Timmins' couple mistakes or couple blunders, the one that was just bad was the one where he tried to skate out from behind the net. Eliminate those. He's going to get a talking to, be told don't do that again. Other than that, he's just as good, if not better. Bates88 saying nobody should put any blame on Timmins. He's going to make mistakes because he rarely has played in the NHL due to injuries. Hall has been in the league long enough for the coach to realize he's no good. Yeah, everyone has realized that. Everyone is. Omer Ostin saying trade Rielly for Ilya Lyubushkin. Just 1 for 1. The deal is 1 for 1. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you get in return for him, but hey, I'm going to be very honest and sit here and say I'm not advocating for a Morgan Rielly trade. I just last year when Goody and I had these conversations, he'd come on here and he'd be like, what do you think? Can we trade away Morgan Rielly? And I was adamantly opposed to it. No, we cannot do this. And now I'm more just all right, well, what's the offer? What's coming back the other way? That's the only thing I would be interested in hearing it. Also, I'm seeing some comments about the network in which broadcasts tonight's game. I don't want to talk bad on any networks or anything. Obviously, come to Leafs Digest for post-game and for all your information and news and stuff like that. You can also like this video. There's 70 people watching, only 9 likes right now. We're buzzing along at midnight on a Thursday, breaking down Coyotes games. Breaking down Leafs Coyotes games. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. Hit like. But yeah, as far as that broadcasting network goes, I haven't seen any other network struggle with the color like that. I just haven't. That's where I'll go with that. And those guys say some absurd stuff on there. All right, I don't want to spend too long on this stream here tonight. I do have work in the morning, so I feel like a lot of other people do as well. If you guys could just hit that like button, that would be greatly appreciated. Hit subscribe as well if you can. But let's get into the Auston Matthews. Actually, yeah, let's get into the Auston Matthews play of the game. I'm seeing a comment there from 6 1/3 saying, sorry, too busy ranting to hit like. All good. When you're done, you can hit that like button. But yeah, the colors was going from green to purple and stuff there tonight. It was ridiculous. My play of the game is going to go to Alex Kerfoot's goal. It's just the whole play itself. I feel like typically my plays of the game, unless something really wows me, it's going to go to an all-around effort. And tonight here in this one, it was Alex Kerfoot bringing the puck inside the zone, making an incredible move on the defenseman, gets around him, controls the puck inside, takes it around the net, has some patience, fires it back to Giordano. Giordano pulls the puck back across the line. As guys converge onto the net, Gio finds a way to get the puck through a lane. Bunting is in front screening. Vejmelka can't get a clean grab at it. Rebound pops out. Kerfoot wide open at the side. Right time, right place. Buries the rebound. That's going to be my play of the day. It's a great zone entry. It was a great move. Good puck protection, awareness, patience, all that kind of stuff as he kind of coasts around the net, makes a play, gets it back to Gio. Like, you kind of got to spread guys out, right? Like, you get in the zone, everyone's focused their attention down on you in the corner as you've gone behind the net, brought the attention there, and as he does so, he spreads it out quickly by firing the puck back to Gio, and then once the puck goes back there and everyone's attention kind of turns and focuses that way, Kerfoot slides underneath as everyone's looking up, gets himself into an open position to be open and available for a tip, a pass, a rebound. Gio gets the puck through, rebound comes out, Kerfoot buries it. It's just a good play. It's smart hockey. That's kind of what you have to do. You need that from your lower down guys. That third line is starting to look like they're playing really well together. I have confidence in them when they go out on the ice, so I'm okay with them. I'm pretty happy with what they're doing. They haven't been like the most productive, but we're starting to see a little bit more out of them. They're kind of chip in here and there in some of the bigger moments. So if they can continue to do that, I'm going to be happy. And that's all you kind of need from your third, from your Rico saying Kerfoot wasn't out with the boys last night. Yeah, maybe not. But that's kind of what you need from them. That's what you need from that third line. So that's going to be my play of the day. One thing I do want to talk about, I'm just going to touch on this briefly, is the officiating is garbage. The NHL officiating is hot garbage right now. It is for every team. It is all the way across the league. It's not just like Leafs bias, against the Leafs. Like, no, it's not. It's just very bad officiating. The way that these refs are officiating the games is absurd. There is no consistency. There is no awareness, like nothing. On that play where Dryden Hunt got in the fight with McBain, he should have got a boarding or a hit from behind. The ref is standing 5 feet away, looking right at it. Doesn't make the call as McBain gets hit from behind like 4 feet away from the boards. And then as it goes down the other way, McBain chases him down, instigates the fight, starts the fight, they get in a fight, no instigator penalty called. It's like, well, you missed both. Like, I just can't understand what's going on because like that is the definition of like a hit from behind. And then it's a definition of an instigator to start a fight. It's insane. Dan Freeman saying, "Hey, Philly, thanks for being you, bro. Doing this for us. I appreciate you. Sometimes a loss is just a loss. Move on from this one." Yeah, fair enough. This might be one of those like burn the tapes, move on kind of games. So it'll be interesting. But yeah, it's just like the officiating has not been good. But props to Dryden Hunt. He gets in a fight in his first game with the Leafs. So good for him. Let's get to our grades of the game, and then we'll wrap this one up. I appreciate everyone who's tuned in here tonight. If you haven't hit like already, please do so. If you are not subscribed to this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. But let's get to our grades of the game. Everyone drop your grades in the chat here. All right. Grade of the game. Let's just pull up some stats, why don't we? Well, The Leafs did generate 32 shots on goal. Vejmelka makes 29 saves, walks over the .906 save percentage. He made some good saves when he had to, especially late when the Leafs had a little bit of a push, tried to show some life pulling the goalie, but they do score 20 seconds left. I mean, the Leafs give up a goal 45 seconds in. That is brutal. That is brutal. The power play tonight was 2 for 2, so shout out to them. But the power play was also only scored by the second unit. So it's like, hey, as long as somebody's producing, I'm happy with that. I think we can kind of get away with that. But like, yeah, not. It's just one of those ones like, what the hell? And then the penalty kill was 1 for 3 tonight. Not the greatest. Not the greatest. We did manage to hold Arizona to 23 shots, but that is much worse for Matt Murray, and our goalies have not been great the last little while, which is a little bit of a concerning factor at this point, as Matt Murray an .810 save percentage tonight. So yeah. Dan Freeman, did you see the stat between Boston and Toronto over the last 20 games? Both teams are identical, 15 wins, 2 losses, and 3 OT losses. I did not see that, but yeah, I know. I've been following along like with Boston's progress, and it's been neck and neck lately. Boston just started very, very strong. They started very strong. And I mean, this one hurts a little bit more because the Leafs end up losing this one in regulation 6-3, but the Bruins, they lose to the Senators the other night, right? So like anybody can lose to anybody in this league. It is competitive. The Coyotes have beat the Hurricanes and the Bruins so far this season. So people can be like, on any given night, you can lose to anybody. It is what it is. But yeah, I'm going to go with a grade of, a D. You just didn't show up. You didn't start on time. Goaltending wasn't great. Power play was the best part of it. Penalty kill wasn't the greatest tonight there either. Some of that has to do with some insane officiating stuff. Like even they got the right guy in terms of the Marner penalty. He was definitely the guy to trip him, but like the ref called a hook, called it on Holmberg, and then switched it and gave Marner the hook. Like there was no hook in the first place. Marner wasn't the guy that could have hooked. Marner tripped the guy. So, like, you got the wrong penalty, the right guy, but it's just a gong show going on. Marner goes to the box. They score immediately, and Hull is standing there in front of the net, not guarding either of the guys. As the puck goes to the one guy on the short side, he turns his back to the other guy. It bounces off the goalie's pad through to backdoor to Chychrun, who puts it in, and Hull is literally standing there facing Matt Murray, blocking Matt Murray's view. So it's just like, what are we doing right now? Just some insane stuff going on, but I'm gonna go with a D. Like there was a little bit of, you got some effort out of the lower end guys. You got some stuff there. Goaltending wasn't great. Penalty kill wasn't great. Started slow. It was choppy. That's kind of where I'm at with that. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in here tonight. I greatly appreciate it. It is late on a Thursday night as we play a 9 o'clock game against the Arizona Coyotes. Game 36 of the regular season in Arizona against the Coyotes, losing this one 6-3, going to 22-8-6 on the season. I mean, death, taxes, Karl Vejmelka beats the Leafs. That's 3 things you can count on non-stop. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. There will be no live stream on Saturday after the game as it is New Year's, so apologies for that. Everyone enjoy your New Year's. Stay safe. Happy holidays. Make sure to subscribe to this channel. Hit like on this video. It is greatly appreciated. I will see everyone very soon, and as always, keep believing.